Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Classic Car Bunker. Something a little bit different today. I'm actually going to be recording 3 videos today almost at the same time. So if you do watch the other videos and you notice I'm in the same clothing, you'll know why. I do wash, but that'll be why. So let's get started on this one. So I'm about to travel down towards Dale, over in Northamptonshire, or Northampton should I say, and we're going to pick up another car. Now this car is another Cortina. I know people are going to be, oh, you're doing another Cortina, it's boring, but this car was so cheap. Well, we think it's cheap for what it is. It's a Mark IV, it's bright orange, it's got a 2-litre Zetec engine in it, and yeah, we're going over to buy it. So hold on, let's just get started. So yeah, we're going over to buy it today. The car is located near where Dale is. In fact, I think it's someone who he works with that is selling it. He wants a Rover P5 or something like that. Don't ask me why. But yeah, so the car's bright orange. It's got a Sierra Cosworth interior as well. The car is very orange. So we've got some plans to sort of break up the orange. We're hopefully going to put a vinyl roof on it. We're also going to put some S-stripes down the side of it. And I think we're going to paint the rear valance, like the top in between the tail lights. So that's yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Now, because this car was so cheap, the guy offered it to him. Dad was like, oh, I mind it and stuff like that, and he sort of checked his finances, like, no, I can't really justify getting another car and things. So I had to think about it. I thought, look, if we buy it, we can, because it's cheap. I mean, I'll tell you the price. It's going to be £3,000. Obviously, when we get there, I'll show you round the car. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a bit of a cold or hay fever. I don't know which one it is. I'll show you around it when we go to get to it. But to me, that's a bargain. We were working out the other day. Strip it, you know, if we bought it and we stripped it, you've got almost 4 or 5 grand's worth of stuff there to strip. You know, you've got the engine, you've got the manifold for it, the Cosworth interior, the shell on its own. You know, there's lots of bits and pieces in that car which you could sell on if you stripped it. So we're not obviously going to strip it, we're never going to strip it. But what we'd like to do, because the car is so cheap, my thought was, if Dale didn't want it, can't afford it, whatever, we'll buy it, we'll do the work to it that we want to do, try and make it look a little bit prettier, and just break up the orange, and we'll sell it on for a bit of a profit, because, you know, the true cost of doing YouTube videos is, it is massive. Not actually doing the videos themselves, but when we're doing our own cars, and obviously we've got the cars, but we still got to spend on them. Obviously no one's giving us any money to do them. We're only a small YouTube channel. We've got about 250 subscribers at the moment, and thank you everyone for the subscriptions. Obviously we don't really want to go down the route of doing patrons and stuff like that, certainly not at this point anyway, because, you know, we're not very big, and who's going to want to pay a monthly subscription to see us at the moment? So we thought, well, we need to bring some money in, because obviously we do both work. I'm self-employed, Dale works for a company, so we still need to work, so we can only do these cars as and when we're both free, which is normally at the weekends. So the best way to do it is potentially to get some cars that we can flip, and flip fairly quickly. You know, anything for MOT failures and stuff like that, but obviously nothing too modern. We don't want anything too modern because you know, you guys don't really want to see the modern stuff, and we don't really want to work on the modern stuff either. So that's what we're looking at doing, is doing stuff like that. Now, speaking to Dale over this past few days about this Cortina, he was saying, I don't know, Marcus, I really like the Escort and I really like the Cortina, but both for different reasons. So what I said to him was, look, we'll get the Cortina, we'll do the work to it, because obviously the projects are now coming to an end. The white one is finished. Jamie's is hopefully going to be finished this weekend, so it's coming up to Easter weekend. It's Wednesday today. So on Good Friday, 2 days time, Dale's coming up and everyone's coming up. Jamie's will be finished. We've also got another Cortina, a Mark 5 Cortina coming in that needs some welding doing and some rust repairs. And when they're done, you know, we've sort of finished the cars. The Escort's pretty much there. We need to do a couple of bits. We've got to change indicator stalk and things like that, because something isn't quite right there, so we've got a new indicator stalk. And the things are coming to an end, so we need something else. So what I said, Dale, was that, you know, we'll get this Cortina. If you decide, you know, because both cars will be done, the Cortina and obviously the Escort will be up and running, MOT, etc. And you can make a decision. If you want to keep the Cortina, then we'll sell the Escort on. And basically any money, obviously, that I'm putting towards the Cortina, I get back from the Escort sale. If it, for whatever reason, doesn't make as much, then Dale just pay me the difference. But you know, it's not a massive problem. So you know, I've given Dale that option. Obviously, we're going to go and pick it up today, and it's, like I say, it's in Northamptonshire, and there's also a little car show happening as well, a place called Earls Barton, which is near Northampton. So I'm not quite exactly sure where it is, but I know it's in the vicinity of Northampton. So we thought what we'll do, I'll drive down. It is 1:30 now, so I'll be due to get Dale's just before 3. We'll go and have a look and buy the car around 4ish, and Earls Barton actually starts at 4. So literally from there we'll go from where the Cortina, the orange Cortina is, and we'll go to Earls Barton show. If it isn't ridiculously windy, I will do some filming there. But yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And also I thought, you know, while we're doing this episode, I'll tell you sort of what the future's sort of going to hold for the channel. So like I said, it's incredibly difficult to do YouTube videos. I mean, there's a couple of YouTubers I watch on a very regular basis. One is a guy called Ben Molesworth, and his channel is Tasty Classics. Absolutely fantastic channel, brilliant. It's probably my favourite one. Ben's an excellent, he's just fantastic on camera, really knows his stuff. There's a bit of comedy in there as well. If you haven't seen any of his channel, please check it out. Tasty Classics, it's really, really good. You can also buy merchandise from him, t-shirts, hoodies and things that are quite good. Now, I first started watching him, Michael put me onto him, my friend Michael. You would have seen him on the channel. He's got a Toyota Mark 1 MR2. He put me onto it, I don't know, a year or so ago, and Ben hadn't been going very long, and he had more subscribers than what we have. I don't know whether it's anything to do with an algorithm or just the fact that he's just a much better channel than we are, probably the latter, in fairness. But he's got his own workshop which he obviously rents. He's recently done some work on it, and as his channel has grown, a lot of the cars that he picks up, he does abandoned cars and left for deads and things like that. He keeps quite a few of them. Some of them that he doesn't, he raffles off. Some of them that are almost beyond economical repair or a very brave restoration to be taken on. But what he does, he gets them running again, and If he can get 12-month MOT on them, he does that, and then he either sells them on, or say he raffles them off, or he keeps them. Now, Ben does have a couple of other income streams where he runs a company called Tasty Records. It's up in Chester somewhere. But obviously someone manages that for him, so he can spend a little bit more time in the workshop. And I also believe he runs a pub of some sort, a little pub somewhere in Chester. So he's got a couple of revenue streams, which means that he can concentrate a bit more on doing the restorations of the cars and his channel. And you know, I take my hat off to him, because obviously when he first started, although he would have had an income from Tasty Records and a pub potentially, he's bought himself a Land Rover Discovery 3, I believe it is, or it might even be a Range, I can't remember. He's got his own car trailer, and he goes and picks up 95% of the cars, and he travels all over England to do it. You know, it's very, very costly. And I know I'm rambling on, but I just want to try and give you sort of a picture of what it's like. So I've got a Jaguar XF as my daily car. Admittedly, it doesn't get used that much, obviously, because I've got my works van. And that's sort of almost like the car that me and my wife would go and do the long distance trips in and things like that. Unless it's some, obviously, we've Cortina. Doesn't have a tow bar. I don't particularly want to put a tow bar on it. I think it ruins the look of something like that. So, you know, and I don't know whether it'd be good enough to actually pull cars, you know, tow cars on it. So ideally, you really need something like a Land Rover, a Range Rover, a Jeep, you know, something like that. And I thought, do you know what? I'll have a look and see if there's something cheap out there to buy. And there's quite a few. There's lots of Range Rovers, anywhere from sort of an 02 plate up to 07, Jeeps, you know, Discoveries and things like that. You know, you can pick up a half decent one for about £1,500 to £2,000. Obviously, you can go higher, and you could go a little bit low if you want to do some work on them. But the road tax on them is extortionate. It is extortionate, and for Ben's particular vehicle is £730 a year in road tax. The other day I thought I'll have a look, so I had a look at loads of different SUVs, things that could tow, and like I say, you can buy something pretty cheap, reasonably cheap, but the tax on them, the cheapest tax I could find on anything was around £380, which is a lot of money. Plus, when you take into account that, you know, me and Dale both work jobs, if we found a car and, I don't know, say it was 4 hours away, as an example, we had a trailer, etc., we went and picked it up. Obviously, I would technically lose a day's wages, because obviously I don't get paid holidays, I'm self-employed. Dale would have to take a holiday potentially if he wanted to come with me, or you know, Dale would have to take a holiday if I didn't go, and you know, you sort of lose out. So I take my hat off to Ben, because how he's done it is really good and really, really clever. I hope in time we can get as big as his channel, or somewhere close to it. It'd be amazing if we could, because me and Dale would love to do this full time. The next one that I watch is a guy called Nino, and he's not economically viable, or NEV or NEV. Now his is slightly different. He buys a lot of cars from Copart, and he then fixes them up, videos it, and yeah, puts it on YouTube. Again, it really good sort of host and doing bits and pieces on the camera. I really enjoy watching him as well. The only reason I probably prefer Ben is because he does more of the classic stuff, whereas Nino does perhaps stuff that's a little bit more modern. But both really, really good channels. And he recently, Nino recently, I'd say in the last sort of 5 or 6 months, he went full time. He's got something like 130,000 subscribers or whatever, and he gets thousands of views every video and things. So, I mean, I don't actually know how much YouTube actually pays you for anything. Obviously, we're not paid for anything yet. We're nowhere near at the point of being paid by YouTube yet. But they're really, you know, both really good channels. And you know, Nino, he started off, he didn't know anything about cars, so he's a little bit like myself. Maybe just simple stuff like oil changes and things. Didn't know anything. He's done videos where he's changed the gearbox on a Range Rover, you know, and he learns as he goes along, which you know, it's really good to watch. So I recommend subscribing to him and watching some of his channels if you can. Ben's slightly different, where he's not necessarily a trained mechanic, but he definitely does know knows his stuff. You know, very knowledgeable guy, and really good. And them two channels I've sort of taken inspiration from to do this channel. You've also got like a little bit of an element of, I suppose, like wheeler dealers in there, whereas Dale is like in China and I would be sort of like Brewer, if you like. I'll try and take inspiration from Tasty Classics and Nev, and it's, you know, there's that also as well, that they've got decent camera setups as well. I believe Ben uses the latest GoPros, which is probably the 11 or 12 at the moment, possibly even 13 actually. I know Nino was using GoPros to start with. I believe he's changed to DJI Osmos because he didn't rate the GoPros as much. And you know, their video quality, they've got proper microphones, you know, their quality is a lot better than ours. So I mean, I've looked into getting some better cameras. At the moment, obviously, I just film on my works phone, which is an iPhone 11, and it does the job, but you may have noticed in some of the videos, now I always try and film it so when the videos come out, it fills the screen, it fills your TV screen, it fills your iPad screen, whatever, you know, whatever you're watching us on, and that means turning it so it's long ways, you know, so it's the big way, not the short way. I can't remember whether that's landscape or portrait, I generally can't remember. And what seems to happen is you'll film it in the right orientation, and then when I go to edit everything, it does it on the, sometimes it does it on the small screen, sometimes it does it on a big screen. You can't zoom in, and it, you know, it's really annoying. And I know from my personal experience when I watch YouTubers, if it doesn't fill my screen up after a couple of minutes, I get a little bit bored and I click off, and to be honest, it might actually be the best video ever put on YouTube, but I don't watch it because it's not filled my screen up, it's a little screen. So that is also a reason why there haven't been a massive influx of videos as well, because I'm filming stuff, and like I say, sometimes it'll be in the big screen, sometimes it'll be in a little screen, and I don't know why it's doing it. It's really annoying. It's really annoying. So I am looking into getting some DJI Osmo Action 3 cameras. Well, I say cameras, a camera, and that way, you know, try and get a bit of a set so it's got extra batteries and holders and things like that. So I'm going to look into getting that. But again, these sort of things aren't cheap, and this is why we're not maybe filming as much, because like I say, with the iPhone 11 the camera's a bit rubbish and things like that, and it keeps going to small screen and big screen and small screen. It's just annoying, and that's why we're perhaps not filming as much. And these cameras, like I say, are quite expensive, you know. I mean, I was looking the other day for an Osmo 3, and you're looking at about, excuse me, you're looking at about £250. Now obviously, because we're buying cars, we're doing up our own cars, we're spending money, obviously we've still got bills to pay and things like that, to go and spend another £250, So, but we are looking into it, so please bear with us, and we will be I will be buying them cameras, so the content is a lot better. I have already got microphones. I seem to have misplaced them, but they work directly with the DJI, yeah, I actually used them for the very first episode that we did when you were looking at the bunker when I was cleaning up, and I knew where they were for some of the other videos, and we just never put them on. Basically, we just forgot to put them on. Now I seem to have misplaced them. I need to find them. I think I know where they are, but I need to find them. But yeah, where the channel's going to go, I'll go on a big tangent there, didn't I? Where the channel's going to go, what we want to try and do is, obviously it's show season coming up now. We're middle of April, coming towards the end of April. So a lot of the weekends are car shows. So there won't be a massive, huge amount of content. We will still do some content on the odd days and the odd weekends we haven't got anything. And hopefully we can still get a video to you every couple of weeks, so that won't change. But obviously with the summer, you know, luckily obviously we've got longer days and things, and hopefully the weather's really good so we can work a bit longer and things like that in the workshop. But yeah, so we've got that, but what we want to do is we want to try and get some cars that can almost be like quick flips, where we'll buy MOT failures or people's classics that they've run out of time, or they've run out of money, or they just can't finish, or they've got too many projects, where we'll perhaps take on where they don't need a lot of work, get them MOT'd if they need an MOT, if they're not exempt, get them MOT'd and put them up for sale, and just try and get a bit more money in the kitty. So we want to try and always sort of be doing that, and then have a project car in the background. So this will be any, you know, a project car where it needs absolutely everything, or where it might only need little things and we can just do it as and when. So if someone has a project car, you know, let us know in the comments, and you know, send us a message, and we'll see if, you know, we're interested in it. But that's sort of where we're sort of trying to go with the channel. So we don't want to go down the Patreon route, certainly not at the moment, because I personally don't think the video quality is good enough for people to pay a monthly subscription. It's, you know, it's not fair on people. So that's where the channel's going to go. I say we're probably about a quarter of the way to Dales now. So what I'll do, I'll bring you back, because you don't want to see, I don't really want to be chatting anymore. It's already gone on, about 23 minutes. I don't want to go any longer because I know people get bored. So once we get to the Orange Cortina, I'll start filming again, and we'll walk around it and show you it, and I'll tell you what we're going to do. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, so here we are with Dale's Orange Cortina. It's now actually Easter Sunday. The guy didn't want it to be filmed on his driveway, which is understandable. So we're at the bunker now. I'll just show you around it. It's not actually in that bad a nick. There's a few rust bubbles. So I'll just take you up to here, and you can see rust bubbles. Yeah, put the bonnet up in a minute. Yeah, put the bonnet up. You can see some rust is here, but it's not actually too bad. We have been here since Friday. We've been working on well, a couple of cars. So what we've done in this one already is we've put the center console in. I'll put some pictures up because I think Dale has took some pictures and show you what it looked like before. We've also fitted, if I can get in there, a rev counter dashboard, which all works. And then I'll just show you the engine. So it's a 2-litre Zetec on carbs. I think they're 45s, if you heard Dale just there. So they're 45s. Now what we're going to do, because the car is extremely orange, as you can see, so we've already started, so I'll take you around the back. Dale is now just rubbing down the back panel. So that's going to be sprayed satin black. We've also got down there, I'll show you the red Cortina in a second. We've got some bumpers down there, which these chrome ones on the orange one are pretty decent. So we've got some rubbishy ones because we're going to turn it into an S spec and get rid of some of the orange. So we've got some decals that go basically, if you can run my finger along there, some decals go along there. We're going to put a vinyl roof on, black vinyl roof. These C-pillar things will be black as well, so it all looks nice. Obviously the back panel black, and then anything that's chrome, so all of this, mirrors, this is all going to be turned black, so it will look like a 2-litre S replica. But yeah, this is a lovely car. Are we able to start it now? Yeah, we'll start it up for you because it sounds lovely. So I'll just let Dale start it up. How nice does that sound? Yeah, so that sounds absolutely lovely. So what I'll do, I'm not going to do this on a separate video. I'm going to take you in now. This is what we've been working on this weekend. This is Steve Ward's Cortina. And we've had to repair. Now, we didn't take any pictures and stuff, unfortunately. We've had to repair this A-post here because it was completely rotten. So there's new metal all in here, and we made this as well. The wing has just gone back on, but inside the wing we've had to do some work. You can probably see the paint there because there was some holes. There was also a hole behind this black plate which we've had to weld in, and we've only just finished this bit. You can see the sill, inner sill, that was completely rotten, so we've done that. We've had to re-put in the hole for the seat belt. You can see that. I'll put an arrow when I edit. So we're just waiting for everything to dry now. And that'll be... then we'll put it all back together. And these boys can go home because they've just spent the weekend up here with us. This is Joe, who didn't want to be filmed. No. So yeah, that's where we're up to. This is the orange one. We'll have another little walk round. In fact, if the doors are open, I'll show you the inside. So we've got a funky steering wheel, which is, we think we're going to take off. I'm going to put a standard 4-spoke on. Poverty spec door cards, but I actually quite like that. And this is Sierra Cosworth interior. Dale's got a cover over on the driver's seat with headrests in the back. Now the only difference with these is they sit really low. I don't know whether it can whether it'll come up on camera. I don't think it'll come up on camera, but they sit really low compared to a standard Cortina. So but it's only going to be his kids in the back, so they'll be fine. Then we've got some mini lights on, which I believe Dale does want to change, but they're perfectly fine for now. They've got good tread on as well. Yeah, so it's a nice car, guys. I'll say if you enjoyed the video, we're going to be doing a lot more on this car as well, so we'll film what we're going to do as well. But if you've liked the video, please give us a like and give us a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.